So today is our third round of Keynote, and we're going to look at masters. So let's go straight into screen sharing. Keynote, unlike other applications, doesn't provide you with a blank canvas. Whenever you want to make a presentation, you always start with a pre-prepared presentation in one way or the other. There is no such thing as going file new and then just having a blank screen pop up. You will always get a theme, or as I've shown in previous sessions, if you have a presentation template that you start with every single time, you can set it to be a particular theme. Let's say we wanted to start off with this one every time. If I choose that one, it'll always start with that presentation. In this case, I want to start with the theme chooser. So why is that? Because presentations need a certain amount of formatting in order to make your life easy. If you had to set up a presentation from scratch every single time, it would be a complete pain. However, we're not limited to the themes that we've got. We can customize them. So I'm going to open up a presentation. Let's take bold color for an example. And it starts off with a title slide always. And if I click add slide up here, you'll see that there are a number of predefined slides. So there's title, which is what we've got here. There's title and photo, an alternate title and photo, title with bullets, bullets, title, bullets, and photos, and so on. So there are 15 slides associated with this presentation, or 15 masters, if you like, master slides. So if I was to go to my view menu here and go edit master slides, I could now see all of those slides, and if we counted them up, there would be 15. There would be exactly the same number of slides as you saw masters, and we can come in and edit them. Now, each slide in and of itself has its own customized settings. It has its own customized fonts. It has its own customized, let's open up a new one just so that we can see it. Let's take, for example, feature story. And if I click add slide here, you'll see again, this one also has 15. They don't all have 15. And if we were to edit the master slides, you'll see you'd count there 15 slides. And this is how we can go through and choose a basic background that is going to complement the story that we're going to give. Now, if I exit my master slides and I click on some text, those of you who've been keeping up with our presentations and our pages and our iWork and our word processing presentations will remember that there are a series of styles. Now, this particular one that I've opened up has a bunch of predefined styles that look like this. If I close this one up and I go to the styles for this one, they look completely different. So Apple have predefined, and if you're using a PowerPoint, it's exactly the same sort of thing. You will have a deck of slides that's set up and ready to go. If I go into edit my master slides, you're probably aware, if you're using these applications on a regular basis, that your formatting palette over here is context sensitive. So if I switch back out of edit master slides, you'll see this changes to reflect the slide that I'm on. If I go to edit master slides, once again, you'll see it'll change, and it's automatically changed to master slide layout when I'm in format mode. And there are a number of things that I can do over here. You can see on this particular slide, the title and the body appears. There is no slide number, there's no object placeholder. More to that in a minute. But if I wanted the slide number to appear, all I have to do is click over there, and you'll see down in the bottom right-hand corner, a 01 appears. So that will auto-increment the slide number if I want to keep track of those things. Automatically, I don't have to number the slides. Let's go to another slide over here. The other thing that we can do over here is an object placeholder. Now, if I was to click in this text over here, you'll see this will change again. So this gives me the opportunity to change the font from Proxima Nova and so on. But I'm going to come back to that in a few minutes. I just want to resize this because there is also, I'm going to click on the background now, watch the format bar change. And once again, I've got my master slide layout. I can click and insert an object placeholder. Now, an object placeholder is a spot where I can insert one of three things. I can insert a graph, I can insert a table, and I can insert an image gallery. we'll come back and have a look at these in a moment. But why would I want to use masters? Why is it so important? Well, a lot of people don't use masters in slides, and they go and they make a presentation, and they'll say, okay, I want to have my title over here, and I'm going to have a couple of bullet points. So let's add a couple of slides, and I'm going to edit this one, and I'm going to go slide 1. That's lovely. I'm going to go over here and type slide 2. And they go, okay, I want to add an image over here. So let's do that. And let's take this duck. Okay, so we've got a duck over here, and we want our duck to be front and center, and I'm going to call slide 2, ducks are great. And, you know, I want this down a little bit over here, but that's in the way, so I'm going to lift this up. That's cool. All right, I'm doing my slide over here. Don't need that. I'm going to delete that. Oh, wait, I need some text. Let me add a text box over here. This is a duck. And, oh, what was this font over here? Oh, why isn't it not a bullet point? Oh, gosh. So if I now go to play my presentation, I've got slide 1. I click slide 2. This jumps all over the place, and you can end up getting seasick watching somebody's presentation, watching the text jump all over the place. So one of the reasons that we use masters is consistency, that we can animate from slide to slide. We can get seamless animations where we can have 3 slides revealing one after the other. And to all intents and purposes, it looks like a single slide because stuff isn't moving around where it's not supposed to move around. If we make a mess up like this, one of the things we always can do is we can right click on that slide, and we can always reapply the master to the slide. So if we do mess up, we're not stuck. We just have to get rid of this as a duck, and we can make sure that all our stuff is in the right space. So let's go through this and make a few slides, and we'll see what it looks like to create and modify your own masters. So this time I'm going to use Showcase because I quite like Showcase. And when we first make our slide, you can see it's opened up and we've got our title, body, slide number, and so on. That's because we've got the Format tab selected in the Format palette. But if I go to the Document palette over here, there's a couple of other things that I can change. Now, by default, a slide can either be standard or widescreen. Standard being the shape and size of a traditional old-style cathode ray tube monitor that we used to use 10 years ago, and widescreen being the more traditional widescreen that you've got. And the ratios are exactly the same as an old-style TV and a new style high-definition TV, which is 16:9. But it doesn't have to be like that. You can change it to whatever you want to. So if I'm creating a presentation that might be a couple of slides that I want to export as a movie that I'm going to post on Instagram, for example, which is great with square format, I can say custom slides size, let's make this 1080 by 1080, tab, click OK. And now all of my slides, if I go into master view, are square. And now I can build a layout that works around a square format. Also, while I'm in here, if I decide that, you know what, I actually don't like this theme, it hasn't got the slides that I want, I don't have to close this up. I go to File, choose New, and add a new background, a new theme. I can just click Change Theme over here, and then I can say, okay, choose Feature Story, click OK. And now I haven't closed anything up. I'm still in the same presentation. So if I've added a few slides, then I'm okay. I'm quite good to go with this. So let's change the theme back to Showcase because I really like Showcase. And I'm going to go in and edit one of these slides, the masters, just to show you what the object looks like. So edit master slides. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to move this across to the side. And I'm going to go to my master format. Now it's showing me a fill because this body is selected. But if I click on the background, the format changes and I can choose an object placeholder. Now, as I said earlier, an object placeholder is a place for inserting charts, tables, or image galleries. So if I come out of this and I go exit master slide, let's add a slide using I hope I remember it's the right one. I think it was that one. Yep, it was this one here. So if I say, okay, now insert a new chart, it appears exactly at the spot where I made my placeholder. I delete that and I insert a table. Once again, exactly the same spot. And then finally, if I choose insert image gallery, which is the ability to put a series of images into a presentation without going from one slide to the other, I can place that in there. And if I resize my window slightly so I can get at my files in the background, I'm going to take these three, drag them in there, and now I have an image gallery with three pictures. If I'm running a presentation, it will cycle through those three pictures before I go on to my next slide. Okay, well, let's see what it looks like now to edit this. Let's delete those two slides. I'm going to add two slides with a slide title. So I'm going to put that one in, add another one, exactly the same. And now I want to edit this master slide. So I want to customize this. So let's add a shape. And I'm going to pop this up in the corner. I'm not going to be super precise. Pop you up there. And let's fill that with a gradient fill. Okay, that's very nice. I'm going to send it to the back. And delete that little guy because I don't need it. And I want to change the font. So let's select the text, go to my text. Let's make it white. And now I'm good to go. If I exit my master slides, firstly, you can see that both slides that were built around that master have changed. And if I choose add a slide, that new modification is in there. So that's one way I can do that. And I can do that on a slide by slide. But now those of you who remember the style palette earlier, one of the things that I can do is I can go to that master, I can select the text, and let's say I want that, you see over here, it's the type, the type is title small. So I say, okay, well, I want that to be green. So again, we'll select that. I'll change the color. I'll make it green. Don't judge me, it's green. Now, it's green on this one, but if I exit it, all the other slides have changed to green. Now, if I was to customize this individually, and I'd made that one white on one slide and yellow on another, it'll have gone through and changed everything. So the idea behind this is when you're setting your masters up, if you want to change things globally, do it while you're designing it before you actually start working on your slide, and then you can make adjustments later. So let's have a look at designing a deck from scratch. Let's say I want to make a new set of slides for DigiCape. So I would strongly urge you to start with a presentation and modify it rather than go through and delete everything because, well, why not? There's a lot of good work being put in there by some very credible designers. So let's edit the master slides. So the first thing I want to do is put a background that is going to be common to all the slides. So those of you who were at the pages the other day, we talked about putting an image in the background. So on the master slide layout, I'm going to choose image fill, and it fills it with one of these tiled shapes by default, but I'm going to go choose, and I have a background over here. Now, I happen to have gone in and made this image exactly the right size. It's 1920 pixels across by 1020 up and down. Very easy to do in something like preview if you've got your image. I pop that in there, and there's my background, and that's pretty good. Now, if I wanted to put that same background onto the other ones, you'd think I have to do the same thing, go and choose the same image, but if I go to image fill, that is now the default. So I can quickly go through all my slides, choose a background. In fact, I don't really need all of my slides. I'm just going to take the first 6 or so, and I'm happy with that. And this doesn't work so well against a black background, against a colored background now. So I'm going to click this image, and I think it would work quite well with a picture frame. So let's take something like that. That makes it stand out a little bit more. So that's fine. It doesn't sort of disappear into the background. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing to that one over there. So here I've got my let's pop it down into the bottom corner. We'll be subtle because we like subtle. Now, this is one of the things I really like about Keynote is if I copy something and then go to a subsequent slide and choose paste, it pastes in exactly the same spot. So all I have to do is go from the net to the next slide, and I'm going to use a keyboard command, Command V, Command V, Command V, Command V, Command V. And now when I go from slide to slide, there will never be a jump. If I go from slide to slide, that image will stay in exactly the same position. So now if I exit my master slides and I want to add a new slide, there's all my templates. I can add this one, start typing, nice food, yummy supper. Now I can click this over here, opens up my, my photo library. I can insert an image. So I now have a presentation which is consistent. Let's add another slide over here. Let's just say this one and add another slide over here. Let's add 2 like that. So slide title, slide 1 topic, another topic. And now as I run through my presentation, if I want to run this, I haven't put any content in there, but you can see everything's perfectly aligned. The logo never shifts, it never moves. And if I want to make any changes, I just go in and let's say a little bit later, I think, you know what, I want that, the slide title, I want it to be slightly different color. I don't necessarily want it to be white. I want it to be like a cyan color. Let's update this. And if I go to all my slides, cyan's updated, exit the master slides, all of my slides have the appropriate changes made to it. So that's really making making the most of your masters. Now, the next thing that you really want to do is what happens if I save this? If I double click to open it up again and I make some changes and I mess up, I'm in trouble. So we have this ability to save this as a template. In Keynote, it's called a theme. So if I choose Save Theme, I can add it to my theme chooser. You see over here, we've got all themes, recents, basic, and so on. But down at the bottom, we've got my themes. And here's the presentation that I've just created. So I can rename this, and I can say DigiCape theme. And now if I double click to open that, I get a new presentation with all those slides called Untitled, and I don't have any fear of editing or making changes. If I do choose to make changes, no problem. I just go back here, edit my master slides, and once I've made the changes that I'm happy with, I save it as a theme again. And if I don't want the old one anymore, go to My Themes, just right click on that one, and I can delete it, I can rename it, or I can share it with somebody else. In this case, I'm just going to, well, let's leave it over there. So that's the first thing. Just one little hint that I wanted to show you guys, which is not obvious, because when you're creating stuff from scratch, let's say, for example, I wanted to go to edit my master slides, and I take this and I duplicate it. And you see over here are bullet lists. So if I was to enter content on the bullet list one, I could say slide 1, or rather bullet 1, and type bullet 2. Now if I hit tab, that indents. And if I hit a return, I'm now indented on the same level. let's say sub-level. And if I wanted to go back another level, I hold the shift key down and type tab, and it goes backwards. So in this way, I can have my master themes, I can have sub themes, and move backwards and forwards within there. But if I wanted to create my own, there is no real, there is no menu command that says insert a bullet list. Right? There is an option to arrange your bullets, but if I wanted to make my own, and this is a little hint that works in Numbers, Keynote, and in Pages. If I add a text box, let's put some text in here. If I preface, let's make you a little bit bigger, 50 point. If I preface the first line with a dash, where's my text? If I preface my text with a dash and a space, and I say line 1, and hit return, it automatically assumes that this is a list. Let's just align everything to the left here. Say line 2. If I tab, indented line, the first line's only staying like that because it wasn't set to align left. And return, indent, and hit shift tab, line 3, return, tab. So there's 4 things that will make something automatically into a list. It's the dash, new text box. If you start this one with a bullet point, which is option 8, line 1, hit return. Sorry, I'm a bit of a klutz on the keyboard today. Line 1, hit return. Make sure you're aligned left. There we go, line 1, line 2. And the other, and of course, tab, indent. And once we've created these lists, we can go to our formatting palette and we can have a look at how they're being formatted. So these are text bullets. We can choose the bullet style. I could make an image bullet. And I've only got that one selected. So let's select all. Let's make this image bullets. Make them these little circles. And I think I found a bug in this the other day because it's not changing one of them. The indents are a bit too big, and you can go and adjust them. So you can adjust these. So as I said before, a dash, option 8, or if you have a number with a full stop after it, or a letter with a full stop afterwards, that will give you lists that you can indent and outdent and auto format. Finally, just to show you that this is not just restricted to your your Mac, that you can do all of this on the iPad as well. I'm just going to switch to my iPad here. So as promised, here's the section that I was unable to show you a little bit earlier, how we could edit our master backgrounds inside the iPad. So I'm going to add a new presentation. Let's choose the same one that we were working on earlier, Showcase. And here's my slide. There's all my slides that I can choose a variety of masters, same masters that we had on the Mac version. So if I want to edit my master slides now, I go to the Format button and select Format. And here I can work on my slides, my background, but over here at the bottom I've got Edit Master Slide. So I'm going to select that, and I could select whichever slide I want to edit the backgrounds, edit the styles, edit the fonts. You can see we have our body level 1, 2, and 3, our titles. So let's go back to the Format palette, choose background, and I can choose from some preset colors. I can choose from the entire color palette. I could choose a gradient, but I want to go to the image and change the image. I get my photo library, and let's select this image for the moment. And my background has changed. So let's go back and see what else we can do. Just like on the Mac version, I can show and hide the title, I can show and hide the body, I can add a slide number, you can see that appear in the bottom right hand corner, I can add an object placeholder, and one thing that I didn't mention on the Mac version is if you choose to allow layering, you can send images on your slide behind images that are on the master. If you don't allow that, then everything in the master always sits in the background, and all the objects in your slide will come to the front, go to the back, but never go further back than the backmost layer of the slide. They'll never be able to go behind the master layer. So just like our Mac version, the menu that you see here is context sensitive. So I have nothing selected on the slide, and the only thing I can change is the background. But if I come down here and choose the presentation title and go back to format, you can see now I can change the style, I can change the text. So in this case, possibly white might work a little bit better. So let's take white. Yep, that stands out pretty nicely. Let's go back here, and you can see we adjust our line spacing, columns, margins, and so on. But if I go to style, I can create a drop shadow, variety of different styles of drop shadow. I can adjust the reflection, the opacity, and so on. And everything that I do here will be reflected in my entire presentation. So let's just select this text at the bottom and make that stand out a little bit more. Once again, we'll choose white as the color. And that's pretty good. Let's choose done. And now we're in our presentation. There's our text in white, there's our background. And if I wanted to add another title slide, there we go, we're good to go. So that's what I wasn't able to show you because of my inability to get my iPad up on the screen. But as you can see, every bit as powerful as the Mac version. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.